Okay, welcome back to part 4 of the Rookie of the Year series for beginning guitar lessons. Now we're going to work on the open D chord and open G chord. And the G chord we're going to work on big G's and little G's, you'll be happy to know. So, and those two chords are two more shapes in a cage system, which you'll learn about later on. But you have an E chord and you have an A chord shape, and now you're going to have a D shape and a G shape, which you'll use later on. Okay, so we are, and the chord diagrams are down in the description section of this video, and you probably want to print them out before you get started. Pause it, print them out, and keep them together with the ones you already have, all the printout information you have, and make a little booklet so you can refer back to it. So, okay, here we go. We're going to start with D. And we talked about you only need 3 notes. I mentioned that in the last one. Well, in the key of D, you can really see that you only need 3 notes. We are going to put our fingers, our index finger is going to go on the G string, 2nd fret. We're going to put our middle finger on the E string, 2nd fret. And we're going to put our ring finger on the 3rd fret, 2nd string. And those 3 notes are a D major chord. The good news here is the string right above that, higher up, is a D. So you can play that note too, play those 4 notes. But technically you only need 3 notes for a major chord. It's called a triad. You'll learn about that later too. So right now, you're going to form a D chord, and you can strum those 4 strings. You'll see that on the chart. Now the next chord I want to show you is all you have to do is add another finger to the bottom string, the E string on the 3rd fret. Leave all your fingers down and strum it again. And that's a D sus4. And when you take it off, it's a D. And you put it back, it's a D sus4. So you can move fingers on and off this D chord to get several different sounds. We'll get back to that in just a minute. But while we're here, let's play a D7. So you're going to take your index finger and put it on the 2nd string, the B string, on the 1st fret. You're going to take your middle finger and put it on the G string, 2nd fret, and your ring finger on the E string, 2nd fret. You can strum from the D string down. That's a D7. And then if you come and you put your ring finger on the B string, 3rd fret, your middle finger on the G string, 2nd fret, and your first finger, your index finger on the 1st fret, E string, and strum from the D down. That's a D minor. Okay, so you have the charts for those, so it'll take a little while for your fingers to get used to that. But let's go back to the D major chord that we started with, and the D sus chord. And one of the things you want to do when you're changing chords is to kind of plant your hand in one position and leave some fingers there that are going to be involved in the next chord. So for instance, I'm going to give you an interim chord real quick. So you're going to leave these 2 fingers down on the 3rd fret, 1st and 2nd string. Now you're going to take these fingers, you're going to put your index finger up on the D string, 2nd fret, and your middle finger on the 3rd fret, A string, and strum that. That's a C add 9 chord, but the reason I'm showing you this is if you take your fingers, just these 2 fingers, and move them up 1 string each, now you're playing a big G chord. So you can go from the D to the C9 to the G without moving these two fingers at the bottom. So you plant those fingers and you move. So you can go from D directly to G without moving those bottom two fingers. And it makes that move real easy. But to get there, you can practice with that C chord to get up there. Okay, so now that we're at G, that's a big G that we just did, okay? The little G is basically just the top string, and you're going to lay this finger down on the string below it, which is the A string, so it kind of deadens it. And then you're going to play the bottom string. That's just a simple G. This is another form of G. This is the big G. I like the big G because it gives you a big sound. But remember, you only need 3 notes. But these notes are repeating themselves. That's a fuller chord. It gives you more sound, but you know, it isn't necessary to make the chord. And then while we're right here, I'm going to show you an easy G7 chord, G dominant 7 chord. Is just the G that you had, and you bring your ring finger up to the D string 3rd fret. And you can just play those 3 notes. It's just an easier G7 for you. There's a G7 that you can spread out all the way down here. We'll work on that later. I'm just trying to give you easy stuff for your fingers. Okay? So you're going to practice those chords, and we're going to do a different kind of strum today. We're going to do a down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down. Practice changing from one chord to the other and just do that simple strum. And there's a lot of songs that come from this. Like that song, Can't You See? That whole song. That has a D, a C add 9, a G, and a back to D. So that's that whole song. So you can play around with that and practice that. So we're going to see you in the next section.